What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and we just got trailer number 2 for the Super Mario Brothers movie, giving us tons of new details to talk about, and even stuff that wasn't even in the trailer and got leaked through promotional art right before the trailer even dropped. So just like last time, we are going to go through this movie trailer frame by frame and talk about all the crazy things that they showed within this little trailer. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things the Mario Brothers movie and Nintendo in general. For the first part of the trailer, we get to see Mario walking out of some tunnel into a coliseum. You can see a barrel in the back with a rusted sword and a couple of kettlebell weights. To the right side of the tunnel, we can see some type of monkey statue or carving into the wall, which reminds me a lot of the carvings that we saw in Secret Seclusion, the bonus world of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. We then see Mario walk out of the tunnel and prepare to fight Donkey Kong in a coliseum, and around the entire coliseum in the crowd is various types of monkeys, apes, and gorillas. Now there are a lot of monkeys in the crowd, and it's almost impossible to make out most of them, but you can look closely and see different versions of them. Some look like they're smaller and older, just like Wrinkly Kong, even with her same bonnet that she wears on her head, and some of them look a lot bigger and thicker like Chunky Kong. There's even one that has a blue vest/jacket that looks a lot like Swanky Kong from Donkey Kong Country. I mean, shoot, there's one that even looks like Mario. I don't know if he's rooting for Mario, but he definitely has the same big nose, mustache, and hair, but it looks like he might also have a shirt that's red with DK letters in the yellow. We get to see a lot more of the crowd in the next scene, and it seems like they're all a big fan of Donkey Kong. Like maybe Donkey Kong is a big name in this village, which is pretty cool, but even some are holding up DK letters, and some are even holding up posters for Donkey Kong. Then we get to see Donkey Kong, played by Seth Rogen, obviously, and his pupils this time seem to be a lot smaller with a lot more brown around the outside of the eye. But there's a lot of details, not just in the fur, but you can also see Donkey Kong's fingernails. We then get to see the platform on which they're fighting on, and it seems to be a giant red girder to obviously reference the original Donkey Kong. There's even the blue ladders that you can climb up on the right, tons of barrels being held by string, and of course the original Super Mario Brothers blocks and question block in the sky. Looking back into the crowd, we can see little chimps, which seems to be the children, and they look very similar to that of Diddy Kong. There's even one gorilla wearing a shirt or jersey with the number 22 on it, and I couldn't think what that could be referencing. And of course, Donkey Kong just grabs Mario, throws him on the ground, and just starts slapping him in the face. It's pretty hilarious. Looking down below Mario as he's getting punched in the stomach, we get to see some water, some cliffs, and some more red girders, and we can actually see barrels sitting on top of them as the reference. We then get to see Cranky Kong, voiced by Fred Armisen. He's obviously probably the leader of this kingdom, with Donkey Kong being the successor with the throne right beside him, but Peach is currently sitting in it with Toad watching, very scared for Mario's well-being here. Don't worry, it still seems he has his signature glasses, as you can see the glare when he turns his head to pick up the banana, and yes, he also has fingernails and toenails. Then skip scenes to Luigi being captured. We've seen him running away from Dry Bones into the castle, so it seems like Bowser was able to catch up to him, and Mario has to save his brother, because Bowser has him levitating, probably from the energy of Kamek. And of course, Bowser being Bowser has a statue of himself in the background. Now, I know a lot of people were asking for more enemies within this movie, and oh my goodness, in this one scene, there's so many to cover. So let's break this down. So the first thing we see are some bats flying from the camera, and they are obviously swoopers from the new Super Mario Brothers series. We can see some piranha plants with their long stems coming out of some pipes or whatever's in the background. All the Koopas seem to be eating and chilling out at the table, but behind them is a stack of Goombas. So yes, finally, Goombas are confirmed to be in the movie. We can see a Sledge Bro in the back as he's getting his food eaten from the table by the piranha plant. Beside the Sledge Bro at the table, you can actually see one of my favorite enemies in the Mario franchise, a Hammer Bro. Hopefully his brothers, the Fire Bro, Boomerang Bro, Ice Bro, all the other bros are here too. You can see Bob-ombs being tossed back and forth with Koopas and also just running around. And of course, you even have Shy Guys running around, which is really cool. And you can even see the Koopa Troopa that ducked into a shell, being afraid of the piranha plant coming in to eat the food off the table. Also, a really cool detail is one of the Shy Guys is actually a Sniffet. You can tell by the different mask. The rest of the enemies are just kind of hanging out, talking, or doing limbo underneath a stick over there to the left. There does seem to be a Koopa Troopa or some type of Hammer Bro, or maybe even another Sledge Bro with sunglasses on in the back, which could be a reference to KP Koopa from Paper Mario. This also seems to be a party, probably after the victory of the penguins that they took out, and you can see speakers and lights and even smoke everywhere in the background. The speakers even have little spikes on them like Bowser. And the Shy Guy and Sniffet are actually chasing a Koopa Troopa that's rolling across the floor in his shell. And going back to Luigi real quick, I just love the detail in this movie. I mean, you can see the button in the collar of his shirt, and even the individual stitching of the L on his hat. Why am I bringing this up? Because I actually saw it on Twitter and I thought it was kind of funny. Luigi in this scene is making a very particular face when Bowser plucks off a hair of his mustache. It actually reminds a lot of people of the Mario and Luigi moment, where in Superstar Saga, if you feed Luigi, he makes a very familiar face. Once again, I'm sorry, I had to. Now we get to see Mario at a sink with a wrench, seems to be fixing whatever's the leak problem with the sink, because he also is a plumber in this movie as well, because we actually have screenshots that actually leaked before the trailer debuted. As you can see in the screenshot, Mario and Luigi are coming from Brooklyn, New York. Nope, it's not New Donk City or anything like that, it's actually Brooklyn, New York, as you can see a street sign that says Brooklyn on it. And Mario and Luigi have their own van. They even have a little 2D logo of Mario with a plunger, and that's just a pretty cool detail. On the right side of the street, we can see a barbershop, and who's that on the sidewalk? Yep, it's Pauline, and she looks exactly the same as she does in Super Mario Odyssey. And she seems to be talking to one of the Samaritans on the street. Let me say, I really love the design of the humans in this world compared to New Donk Cities, because they actually look like they belong in the Mario universe. So yeah, looks like Pauline's gonna be the mayor of New York, and also, you can see the Brooklyn Bridge in the background, a nice little detail. And you can see Mario and Luigi about to tackle a job together, and Luigi even has his little toolbox with a plunger in it. And across the street, you can see a little old man at the grocery store. We then get a shot of Bowser's floating island / castle heading towards the Mushroom Kingdom, and Princess Peach on the inside with her window mural on the wall as well. But yesterday I made a whole video talking about the poster where we got to see the inside of Peach's castle, so I can just recap some things real quick. The clouds on the window resemble that of the classic Mario Brothers clouds, and the chandeliers, candles, and lighting in the room resemble that of a fire flower. And of course we have two paintings, one that looks like it references Tall Tall Mountain, and one that references the Mega Mushroom. And the top of Peach's castle seems to have a star, just like the various different kingdoms in this movie does above their doorways as well, referencing it's probably a place of significance where Bowser needs to collect the Power Star. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video. If you're enjoying it so far, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It goes a long way. It seriously helps out a lot. This was a super long video, super fun to make, but please make sure you show some support. Thanks guys, and back into the video. We get to see the Toads working on a map of the entire area. We get to see Bowser's castle and maybe the snow area right next to them where they vanquished the penguins there. We get to see a desert with pyramids, which could be Sarasa Land. Maybe we get to see Daisy in this movie. We then see Donkey Kong / Cranky Kong's island where the beginning of the trailer took place. We also get to see Yoshi's island with even eggs on top of the mountains, which is something that we get to see a little later in the trailer. And we get to see a little airship moving away from Bowser's castle that's animated pretty cool. So this shows that his floating island or fortress is just a fortress. His castle is still on a completely different island, and you can see a little Power Star floating above his little moving car or island thing. Two of the Toads wear glasses, which reminds me of Toadsworth, but he may not be in this movie because we really haven't seen or found any sign of him yet. But the Toads look a lot more well dressed in this scene this time, actually wearing little bow ties and blazers. They look really good. One last island that I wanted to point out is this one, because it might be a little extended part of Bowser's kingdom where Luigi actually landed, as we saw him getting chased by Dry Bones as making his way all the way to Bowser's castle, obviously before getting kidnapped. We then have all the Toads tell Peach that they are too cute to be going up against Bowser's forces alone, and you can see all the other Toads are not really dressed as sniffy as the ones at the table, so this must be the congregation of Toads that help Peach out, like the board members. But in the middle of the room, you can also see the emblem on the ground where Mario once stood there and looked up into the sky in Mario 64, which is a nice reference. You also have two guard Toads with helmets and halberds waiting by the door. Looks like Bowser's actually pulling up, and all the Toads look like they've got scared, and it's just one Toad, and of course, Princess Peach. And Princess Peach is actually wearing her motorcycle outfit from Mario Kart 8, which is actually pretty cool. Peach also grabs the halberd from the Toads that fled their spot, and you can even see in the background that Peach's castle may go deeper in extra hallways than it previously thought, which means it's finally going to take the form from 64. I mean, I've always wanted to see more of the interior of Peach's castle, and the only time we do see that is 64. Or the Paper Mario series. And the portraits on the wall, the one on the right we've already discussed looking like Tall Tall Mountain, and the one on the left is just a sunset of Peach's castle. And Peach, actually being a strong princess in this movie, is actually taking the halberd to go meet up against Bowser and take out his forces, which, like, Peach, okay, do your thing. And even Toad's coming with a frying pan. I mean, at least they're gonna try. And in the background, you get to see some trees that resemble the Super Bell trees from Super Mario 3D World, which maybe Mario can turn into Cat Mario in this movie. We then then get to see Mario get put through some training from Princess Peach, and he gets put through a kind of 2D obstacle course with lots of different elements throughout the Mario franchise. To the left, we can see some eye blocks from Super Mario World. There's some Super Mario 3D World platform blocks with some spikes on the regular bricks. The piranha plants are mechanical toys, obviously made for the obstacle course for training purposes. There are tons of pipes extruding from multiple different bricks, and even some bouncing springs on the bricks below. There's also some cloud platforms and what seems to be snake blocks also, and the addition of fire bars. And just like the piranha plants, they are not real. And we have some bullet bill launchers and the addition of donut blocks. Fire bars also have little paintings of fireballs on the side of it. You can barely make it out with the lighter orange. You can then see one of the bullet bills actually hit Mario, which seems to have some type of red, orange, and yellow paper coming out the back, because I think the bullet bill is actually made out of some type of felt. This version of the bullet bill is also missing arms. Then Mario gets hit by a bigger bullet bill, which is probably a bonsai bill. You can even see the felt/rubber lines all over it. And you can also see Mario standing on one of the donut blocks as they turn red and drop him out of the sky. And beside Peach, as she's watching Mario on the platforms, you get to see a flagpole built together with even the little bricks of the castle top right below it. We then get to see Mario, Peach, and Toad walking across a giant bridge over water as Cheep Cheeps are flying every which way. This actually reminds me of the Mario 3D Land beach stage. Also, after the Cheep Cheep is done kissing all over Mario and Peach is able to rip it off, it flies on a Toad and starts kissing his face as well. We then get a top-down view of Peach's castle, and we can see 6 stars shaved into the ground. At first, I thought of the Mario Party / Paper Mario 64 star spirits, but there's 7 of them. So why are there 6 here? What could this be referencing? Maybe just in this movie story, for instance, there's like 6 special stars that they have to collect and Bowser's trying to get them all, and maybe Peach has the last one. During this invasion, we get to see Mario fly in as Tanuki Mario, but before we get to him, let's look at this bonsai build coming over the water. You can even see the water shooting up, and this time it's the real deal. It's a real bonsai build chasing Mario. Now that's actually Tanuki Mario flying in with his suit and all down into the castle as Bowser's invading. It just happens way too fast to see. Yes, of course, here's a better look. This is the full suit for Tanuki Mario, and he's flying all over the place with this thing. It's not just gliding up, he's going everywhere. We then see a field of fire flowers, and Peach actually touches one in order to turn into Fire Peach, which is once again a reference to the video games. We then see Mario, Peach, and Toad at the edge of a cliff looking over the clouds and seeing lots of stone statues popping up from the ground. And this reminds me a lot of rock candy mines from New Super Mario Bros. U, and even the little holes in the stones are exactly the same as the ones in the game. In the next scene, we finally get to see Yoshi's Island, and it looks absolutely beautiful with all these different colored Yoshis just running in a stampede. It's awesome. I hope Mario's actually able to find the one green Yoshi, because it doesn't look like there's any green ones in this pack. Hopefully that one is saved for Mario. Peach also tells Mario that there's various different galaxies that they can visit, and you see Mario and Luigi actually fly all the way into the pipe that leads to the Mushroom Kingdom. That's probably how they came from New York. So we might actually have a Mario movie eventually taking us through the kind of multiverse, you know, that'd be really cool, showing us different galaxies, or maybe, just maybe, Peach is referencing Mario Galaxy, maybe appearing in a future movie, which would be super incredible. Having Rosalina and the Lumas and everything, please. Then we get a Mario Kart reference scene where everybody's in their own carts racing down Rainbow Road out of the Donkey Kong Kingdom, which is super, super cool. Now, all these carts seem to be original carts from the movie. They're not really referencing any particular cart from any specific game. But all of the other racers in this scene seem to be also apes and monkeys from that Donkey Kong village that we saw earlier, and they have their own kind of versions of their carts with tons of barrels and bananas lining them. In this scene, we get to see their carts a lot closer. Mario's cart is the standard cart that you would start off with in pretty much any Mario Kart game. Peach has her motorcycle from Mario Kart Wii, and Toad is in some type of monster truck with his emblem even on the front. Now, a lot of people seem to think that this could be Funky Kong behind Mario, with the shades, and even looks like he has a spotted do-rag on top of his head. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it looks like there's lots of other apes with the same design as well, as there's one to the left. Although it seems the one on the right definitely seems to be the only one with a do-rag, so who knows, maybe it is Funky Kong. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but the one above Funky actually looks like Mankey Kong from Donkey Kong Country. They're supposed to be like shunned members of the Kong family, but yeah, it looks like they're actually working with each other here, so maybe that's not them. I don't know, he definitely looks like an orangutan to me. And then if you've been on Twitter at all today, you'll probably notice the one on the left looks a lot like Kiddy Kong that a lot of people have pointed out, even though I don't think that's him. And even the one behind him kind of looks like Diddy Kong, even though we haven't seen Diddy Kong yet either. And Donkey Kong uses a lot of barrels for his cart in order to use them as rocket boosters, which reminds me a lot of DK Barrel Blast. A lot of the carts have other monkeys on the top like they're controlling some type of weaponry, and a lot of the barrels look like they can blast some type of weaponry as well, as if maybe they're all going into battle. Maybe this is the army that Peach is going to take because the Toads are not going to be able to get it done, but maybe Donkey Kong's army can help them get it done as well. And you can even see some blue sparks on the ground from Mario drifting, just like the Mario Kart games. Woo! That was a lot of details in just this one little trailer. So there is still probably so much more that I didn't even get to talk about or maybe even missed. Let me know in the comments down below if you found even more details. I think Nintendo has even put out a whole bunch of new posters, so we'll be talking about those as well in some upcoming videos. So to make sure you don't miss them, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're up to date on everything about the Mario movie. And thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.